UMC cuts are continuing to evolve, and since our last program, UMC has announced that they are closing yet another department, one that addresses rehab from addictions. This has huge and sweeping implications, as Mitch Landrieu pointed out recently as he talked to a reporter. Check it out.
I understand you sent a letter to Jindal about mental health cuts.
Absolutely. No, one of the things that I'm really going to try to communicate to the president and to the governor is that when the federal government cuts and the state cuts, generally they say you do more with less. I'm telling them that we're having to do less with less. And that crime is our #1 priority. And I know a lot of people want to call it the National Guard, but it would be a lot better to fight crime to have more probation and parole officers, or fund the DA's office, or fund independent defenders, which are all state responsibilities, and to make sure that we fund mental health. Those are all very important foundations to the criminal justice system. And so as Washington and Baton Rouge make decisions, I'm beginning to remind them of the consequences that occur on the ground, where reality is. It's not just theory, it's not just hope, it's reality. And what I'm trying to tell them is that if they want to help fight crime, they'll fund the things that provide the foundation for a safe city. Not having mental health beds is a very bad situation for the city to be in. And so I want to just remind them of that, ask them for the help, and just ask them to meet their responsibilities.
The mayor makes some very valid points of the correlation between the quality of life and direct correlation to the cuts to mental health funding and an increase in crime rates. These cuts have been dramatic and deep, and we will start feeling them very soon. Just this past week, I was told of a friend of mine who is officially being laid off as a nurse at UMC, and they will continue to lay off staff over the coming weeks. So we will certainly see an uptick in unemployment claims from the layoffs. Then we could see a rise in crime simply due to the cutting of the mental health and rehab services that UMC offered. With the closure of the rehab facility out of UMC, that is going to hurt Acadiana a great deal, as there will be no other place for the working poor to actually receive these services. Which brings us to some tragic news. Whitney Houston died a week ago yesterday. Houston was an amazing talent, especially in the mid to late 80s and early 90s, where it seemed she had everything going for her. However, the last decade was not as kind. Houston reportedly struggled with severe drug addiction problems, and even admitted to them in interviews. It seems sad to me that none of her friends were able to jump in and save her by giving her the help that she obviously needed. I suppose it's hard to be that person to tell her no when everyone else is telling her yes. I would have loved to have seen a Whitney Houston comeback. Alas, that isn't going to happen now. Folks here in Acadiana struggling with addiction and wanting to get help, that help is quickly drying up with the closure of UMC's rehab facility. I hope the folks out there will take this matter more seriously and that more attention will be placed on rehab services, but also on all mental health services in this country. But it's sad to know that in the same week that Whitney's untimely death, that UMC is closing down its rehab center.